Hey, deserving listeners, Darcey and Stacey, new episode, let's watch.
I don't know how to talk and open to her anymore. I still cannot get this in my head. I don't know what to do anymore.
Georgi, good to see you.
Hi, Jesse.
Yeah, not recommended. Two wrongs do not make a right. So what he said, I don't know if I show this clip, is that the only way to understand Darcey and her strange behavior, and that she kept reaching out to Octavia, the only way to understand that is if I do the same thing. I see the connection, I guess, out of desperation, but that doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yes.
I was thinking gonna be good if I gonna have a quick chat with you and, know a little bit more about your experience with the relationship with Darcey and to see what was the issues.
Now, I will say that I've often thought that if people could handle it and they were differentiated and fair and not deceptive and didn't go behind people's back, this actually could be helpful. To go to a former partner of your partner and say, what did you see? But you have to interpret it through the lens that is appropriate. You have to take things with a grain of salt. The ex, say your partner broke up with someone, or they had massive amounts of conflict like Darcey and Jesse did, then whatever Jesse says, you should filter through that and say, well, I know they had a lot of hard time. Yeah, Jesse saw a different version of Darcey than I did. But anyway, my point is that it could be helpful. It could be helpful to learn. It could be helpful to process emotions for the person, for the Jessies of the world. It might be good to have those conversations and to facilitate the grieving process. Sometimes it could reopen old wounds, but I'm pro communication as long as it can be done in a way that doesn't destroy things.
Did you find something she don't like, or what was the result?
I gave her my phone because I didn't want to be questioned every day.
Hearing Jesse saying that Darcey get his phone to be able to trust him, it's kind of upsetting me because Darcey do these things to me.
All right, so we're hearing that, I didn't know that about Jesse, I don't remember that Darcey wanted access to their phones, to Jesse and to Georgi's phones. Okay, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. Hopefully, if you're having some paranoia about your partner that's unjustified, and you talk about it, you process those emotions, you have a lot of different measures to manage those feelings of jealousy. One of which is to ask your partner, it'd really help me out if I could just look in your phone every now and then. That could really put me at ease. You don't have to do that, of course. But did Darcey ask that way, or did she kind of force the issue? Who knows? I don't know if we were there for those conversations.
Make me give my phone to her multiple times to check on it. But at the same time, it make me realize that Darcey trust issues not because of me and my hard time opening to people.
Yeah, absolutely. Darcey's attachment insecurities predated Jesse by many years, in all likelihood. People don't usually develop those kinds of attachment reactivity issues late in life. Usually develop them early in life, early childhood, and then they become compounded. You can develop them later in life. Sometimes people ask me that, because I'll often talk about early childhood, and they'll say, can you develop it later in life? And you absolutely can. Say you're raised pretty well, you're attuned to pretty well, you have pretty secure, safe, dedicated, loyal attachments throughout your first 30 years. And then your partner cheats on you and breaks up with you, really hurts you and betrays you. It would be normal to have some residual attachment insecurity after that relationship, for sure.
Darcey trust issues seem like deep-seated.
I've seen a lot of crazy stuff. And I don't want to go into detail because I don't think it's my place. But like she was dating me while still dating with Tom. And same thing with Tom. She portrayed to us that.
Okay, interesting. I don't know if we can trust Jesse. If Darcey were there, would Darcey say, no, that's not exactly true. Me and Tom were taking a break and then I went back to you, or we weren't really dating, or whatever. Who knows? We've seen a lot of statements on this show that upon further data, we're like, I don't know if that's exactly accurate. So, who knows? I don't know what that means. Let's say Darcey was a jerk face and was cheating on Tom with Jesse. That's not good if that was happening, but I don't know if that pertains to Georgi's situation.
But then when Tom reached out and we compared the messages, and we realized like not only that we were manipulated or cheated on at the same time, but also we were being played.
So it's interesting. Now Jesse is saying that he connected with Tom and they got their messages checked and figured out that they were both being cheated on at the same time. Who knows? It's hard to trust Jesse. These kinds of accusations get thrown around a lot, like at the tell-alls. I would take this with a grain of salt. And even if it were true, like I said, I don't know if it pertains to Georgi. I'm trying to figure out what Georgi would be looking for in this one. I think it was maybe helpful for him to hear that Darcey's trust issues aren't about him, because you could imagine being Georgi and being like, am I doing something wrong here that's causing Darcey to be so distrustful of me? And then to hear that Darcey was distrustful of other partners in the past, that you would say, oh, maybe it's not entirely me. And that might actually give Georgi some resilience so that he can actually help Darcey because he won't take it personally. Or he can say Darcey is a problematic person and has always been problematic and I don't want to be with her. I'm just curious as to what Georgi's goal is with this conversation.
So you're saying Darcey cheated on you with Tom?
Yes.
Maybe she was thinking the relationship is gone, You break up. If it's toxic, the things doesn't work between each other, you're gonna reach out to someone else.
This is very interesting, the contrast between Georgi and Darcey. So when Darcey goes to Octavia and they start to talk, Darcey and Octavia, Darcey interpreted everything in the negative. Octavia says something, Darcey says, yeah, and then goes with it even further. Georgi, as far as I can tell, is hearing something extremely negative, way more negative than I think what Octavia was saying about Georgi from Jesse. And Georgi is defending Darcey. I think that's what's happening. Georgi is saying, well, are you sure? Because maybe the relationship was over and you just didn't know it. Or, that's telling, isn't it?
That's normal things. So I don't think if you're still together, she's gonna go do this stuff because she never do this to me.
Jesse telling me that Darcey cheated on him with Tom, I'm far away from believing that it's true.
If this doesn't prove that Georgi is a good potential partner for the future, I don't know what does. It's such a contrast that Georgi's thinking, well, I don't know. I don't think Darcey would do that. I think that Jesse is distorted. She's never done that to me. I mean, just listen to that. That attachment security, that, giving someone the benefit of the doubt, the positive view you have of your partner, and contrast that with Darcey and talking with Octavia. It's very interesting. It's almost like some kind of course on schemas, because when you are growing up and you are shown that the world is going to treat you like crap, then even when you're not being treated like crap, you will assume you're being treated like crap, and you'll feel like you're being treated like crap because you have a schema that the world is treating you like crap. When you are raised relatively well, then you assume that the world is going to treat you well. And when you get data that says the world is treating like crap, you're like, that's an anomaly. I don't know about that one, because usually the world is actually pretty good to me, and usually Darcey's pretty good to me. I don't know about that one. Darcey, completely different reaction from Georgi. It's interesting.
Darcey can be very difficult in moments, but definitely she's not a cheater. And I know how bad their relationship was in the end. Jesse treated her like a and I don't think even it was the relationship left to cheat on him. He's confused. He's trying to confuse me. He's really full of bullshit.
It's so interesting. And I hope Darcey gets to see this, that Georgi, even if they do break up, that Georgi would defend her and thinks good things about Darcey. How many times do we see this on the show where someone claims infidelity and someone's like, I don't know about that one.
All I can say is that every person that reached out, including you, Tom, we all had the same issues.
Our situation is different. We're dealing with different problem. It's more about trust issues because she's been hurt so many times.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up, Georgi. Wow. No, Jesse, I don't think she's cheating on me. I don't think she's that kind of person. In fact, I don't know. I'm not even sure if she cheated on you. We're dealing with different things. We're dealing with trust issues because she's been hurt so many times. That is the most succinct. If we wrote a book about Darcey based on all the videos we've watched, we would just put that as the title. She has trust issues because she's been hurt so many times. So it's beautiful.
No, because at the end of the day, she had personal issues. So you need to realize, hey, we just don't work.
It's all right. So that's normal. I'm not just because I have a little issue, I'm going to walk away. I don't need the advice. I'm just trying to figure out, understand her better so I can deal with my issue in better situation, to be more understanding to her. Okay,
so we got Georgi's goal, which we don't usually get. And what a wonderful, altruistic, pro-social goal. I'm trying to learn it. I'm not here for advice. I'm not here to have you tell me lies. I'm not here to have you tell me to break up with her. I'm here to learn more about her so that I can have more compassion for her so the relationship will work out better. This season is so interesting because the world of Darcey and Stacey and Deb and Reina is like this polar opposite of what I'm watching, where Georgi he just seems like such a nice, caring, altruistic, giving person, patient person. I don't know if we've ever seen. The last episode, Georgi was kind of a jerk face. He's like, well, why don't you be with Jess? That whole conversation. Aside from that, there's been so many times because sometimes we wonder, well, does he have compassion? Does he not? We don't really have much data. There's been many instances where Georgi gets to the wide in the road, and it could go the typical way, like it does in this show, where it becomes destructive. And not only does Georgi not take that, but he takes this very mature path.
Calling Jesse didn't accomplish anything. Looked like he just wanted to hurt more Darcey than to help me. Always I saying to reaching out to exes is not good things. They always lie and they're always and by having this conversation with Jesse, I proved my point.
Now, maybe that was his semi-Machiavellian agenda was I'm gonna out Darcey and Octavia by showing that exes are out for no good, and I'm going to demonstrate that. I'm going to kind of, as soon as I see Jesse conspiring against me and Darcey, I'm going to call it out. I'm going to get angry, and then I'm going to call Darcey and say, see, I did the same thing as you did, and Jesse tried to ruin our relationship, which I put an end to. That's what I wished you would have done. Maybe that's what he's doing, which it kind of seems like it is. I don't know if that's going to work, though.
But I don't feel good because this stupid phone call can mess up my relationship with Darcey even more.
And then, unlike Darcey, he says, I effed up by reaching out behind Darcey's back to talk to Darcey's ex. And that's going to hurt Darcey, and I made a mistake. Darcey has never said that about Octavia. All right, well, that does it for that episode. Everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.